this is crazy. Like maybe this is what's actually causing like our skin and hair problems.
For us, that was the light bulb moment. We're like, hey, we're showering the same water full of sediment, full of mineral buildup and dirt and chlorine, and that's why my products are not working.
That's really why we started this brand, because we saw such a big relief.
What is happening to our skin when we shower without having a filter on it? Get really technical with me.
Well, there's a lot of things in your water, like calcium and dirt and things that travel through your pipes that get collected and end up on your skin and hair. So when you shower, your pores expand, and they're soaking all that up, including chlorine, which is used to sanitize our water.
So I'm so into skincare. I mean, I wrote a book on it. And for me to not really know about this is so crazy. This is something that I'm learning. When we wash our face, like what is going on? Is that causing acne, eczema, hyperpigmentation? Like, how important is this?
So what happens is that like the water, your pipes get filled with something like buildup, and then also like all the lime scale. So what happens is that mixes with your product. So if you can imagine, like you put a cleanser on, you mix it with water, you can get like tiny particles of lime scale that really irritate your skin and also your hair. And so it stops your products working. Like, I don't know. I mean, you said you're not the biggest hair washer, but I don't know if you've ever like shampooed your hair.
Never.
I'm never.
No, but like literally not since 1992.
And have you ever had like when you get all out of the shower and you go to like blow dry your hair and you still have like a little patch of like product in your hair?
Yeah.
So that's from a buildup like of your products mixing with stuff like lime scale or pipe rust. And then you have to like go and wash it all over again. That's, and that's really what's going on.
How did you both sort of discover this?
Well, we were living at London at the time, and we kept bumping into each other randomly at random parts and of a lot of yoga studios. And we bonded over our skin and hair issues. So when I moved to London, had severe dandruff. It was so bad. It was like literally snowing out of my head, and I tried everything from dandruff shampoos, vitamins, scalp serums, you name it. I tried it. I even tested my blood because I was like, there's something wrong with me. Like, I don't know what's happening. And everything was fine. And I also developed eczema on my body, and I just couldn't figure out what was happening. So Sarah had similar problems. And one day when we were living together, our shower stopped working. And Sarah, I think you should tell the sludge story.
So our shower just completely stopped working, and we like turned the pressure on and nothing worked, and we're like, God, like what do we do? So we were like, okay, well, we'd better go shower at the gym. But we had to call a plumber, and this like lovely Irish guy came, and he takes like the bathtub apart, like attaches all his equipment, and he starts pumping this like crazy brown liquid
into the pipe, or it's coming
like
out?
Into the toilet, like from the kind of bathroom
it's
into
just
the toilet.
draining the pipes.
Yeah. And so for those of you who don't know what sludge is, it's like a brown kind of goopy tar like liquid. And he just looked at us and he was like, you got a sludge problem. And we were like, how do we combat this? Like, how do we make sure this never happens again? And so he said that we had to get a water filter, but we lived in like a complex of like 35 apartments. So we would have had to filter every single apartment, because that was like, I imagine that's like what you talked about with what you're getting like in your house, like a water main. And he then gave us a quote for that, which was like around $8,000 US, so 6,000 pounds at the time, because we were both in London. And it just wasn't, that just wasn't an option for us at the time. Like we thought we'd probably move out of the flat like in about 6 months, maximum a year. But we obviously didn't want to shower in sludge anymore. So it really sparked like a light bulb moment for Christina and I, because, as Christina said, like she was suffering from her own skin and hair problems, and I was suffering from my own skin and hair problems. So I would get out of the shower and my face was like really red here, and it would just get so irritated all the time. And so what I would do is I would use these products, and I would use like this green concealer when I would go out, and like slather on all this makeup as kind of like a defense mechanism, because I would just always feel really hot and then not confident. And so it really sparked this light bulb idea, and we're like, this is crazy. Like maybe this is what's actually causing like our skin and hair problems.
So how did you find out it was that?
Well, we started looking into shower filters just on Amazon and where you would, and there was nothing really branded. There was nothing really very effective. We probably tried like everything available. And one day we read an article that Leonardo DiCaprio was selling his apartment in Manhattan. And the highlight of that article is that he had a vitamin C shower in his apartment. So we were both looking at each other like, oh, this exists. So we found out that in Asia, that's common, that people use vitamin C showers. So we saw the opportunity to go out and basically create the best one.
And is this,
Leo uses a vitamin C shower. I feel like you need a vitamin C shower on that hair, on that mop of yours.
listen, I'm always.
You're so serious about your hair. I mean,
I don't wash my hair either, though. Just so you know.
oh, you don't?
No.
That's not true.
But
I
I
saw the shampoo used the other day.
I'm wondering.
Do you really not?
I really don't. I'm wondering if is this mostly like in the major cities, or like as you guys both grew up in different countries? Was this an issue when you were growing up, or is this only in the municipalities, like only in the big populations, or is this everywhere?
So this is everywhere. So that's like, we started it initially in London because that's where we were suffering from skin and hair problems. But then we noticed that we started to get a lot of sales from America, like around 2018. And so we started looking more and more into it. And America has all kinds of water. I mean, here in Austin or in Texas in general, you have like what we had in the UK, which is a really high mineral content. But in places like the tri-state area or New York, you have really dirty water. So there the water it's not as hard with calcium, but it's really, really dirty from the pipes. But that spreads outside of New York.
Actually, I want to say something. Manhattan actually has the dirtiest water. And I grew up around New York, and we always pride ourselves that we have the best water. It's actually the dirtiest water. We have 3 filters in the shower head, and the last filter is a microfiber cloth, and it captures residual particles, tiny little particles. And in Manhattan, after a week, it is so black. It's dirty. It's like you've dipped it in mud. And that's what you're showering in. So
would the pizza taste worse because we're eating? Is that what's happening over there?
I'm not going to get into this debate.
You know, a lot of New Yorkers are going to be pissed here because they say they have the best water that makes the best pizza, and it's because it's literally filled with dirt.
Everything.
Yeah.
And the dirtiest water.
My skin looks like shit in New York.
Yeah.
And I always thought it was the pollution.
That's a normal thing. I always thought it was, when I was in London, I was like, oh, it's because I'm living in a different city, because there's not enough sun. Like, you think it's everything, but so much to do with your water. And you spend so much time and money on products, and they just don't work as well because you're still showering in the same water.
So when you guys got a shower, did you guys go out and just buy a random shower head to try it out and see if there was differences?
Yeah, so we started looking at what options were available, and so we bought like normal water filters, like especially what was available on Amazon, and that's when we started to notice a change. We're like, oh, my skin's less irritated. Christina's dandruff started to go away a little bit. But I have to say that it wasn't until we actually started using vitamin C's when we read about the Leo article.
What does the vitamin C do in water?
So the vitamin C neutralizes the chlorine. So it's the best agent, like ascorbic acid is the best agent to neutralize chlorine, which is what our water is treated with. So like every water main, so that people don't get sick or there's no bacteria, that's like what they use to treat water. And the vitamin C, it really combats that. And it leaves like an amazing kind of sheen on your skin and hair. So it's not like a greasy sheen. It just like gives you a really amazing glow and like makes your skin really like glowy and your hair really soft and silky.
No, we had Dr. Dennis Gross on this show a few times, a friend of the show. And he's like huge on vitamin C for the skin. He thinks it's one of the best things you can do for your skin.
Yeah, I mean, we are so big on vitamin C. Like Christina and I, like one of the things that we bonded about when we were working together is like our love for beauty products. We're both like very minimal people. Like we don't use a 10-step skincare routine, but we definitely try like the best products.
Well, now we don't.
Because
now we don't. But there was a time we did. And it's so frustrating when you try all these products and you spend so much time and money and nothing works. And for us, that was the light bulb moment. We're like, hey, we're showering the same water full of sediment, full of mineral buildup and dirt and chlorine, and that's why my products are not working.
So what kind of conditions do people have that they think is maybe caused by something, like Lauren mentioned earlier that she thought something was from breast implants or something, a rash, whatever. Like, what are things that people think that is being caused by other things that you believe is being caused by the water?
Definitely brassy hair. whether you color your hair or don't. So that's a big one. And it's color safe because this is diluted when it goes through the water. So it's not going to damage your hair color. It's actually even better. Also, if you have a dry scalp, tight skin, itchy skin, if your face gets hot, like that was happening to you.
And also eczema and psoriasis, it's really,
it
really
irritates
helpful.
it.
And so what we were talking about before is like the itchy legs. Like for me, I used to have the itchiest legs after shaving or after showering. It's like, you know, the lower part around your ankle, and I would just scratch it so much, which would probably just make it more irritable. And so that really, really helped me. And also like little patches of eczema. Like I don't have crazy eczema, but definitely like just in my elbows, I get a little bit, and it really, really helps.
How quickly does someone notice when they change their water situation? There's like, how quickly do they notice the rash go away, their skin? What have you seen? Like, what are some testimonials?
Well, it's amazing. I think the most common word people use to describe the experience of showering Vitaclean is life-changing. Even if you go on our website, we have so many reviews of people saying, oh my God, this has changed my life. This is a game changer. This has helped me so much. My itchy legs or my dry scalp is just gone in one shower. I mean, that's the feedback, and you will experience and notice the difference. Because the other thing that's amazing about Vitaclean is that it has a really amazing aromatherapy experience. So we have 7 different vitamin C shots is what we call them. We have citrus, mango, lavender, jasmine, unscented, and coconut and vanilla. So it makes showering such an elevated experience. And we shower to disconnect, to feel clean, to feel good, to melt the stress away.
Guys do other things in the shower, but yeah, girls do
All to melt the stress away.
Yeah, all the guys are like, ooh. They do all kinds of things in the shower.
Whatever you do, now it's elevated.
That is not elevated, what you guys do in the shower.
Listen, adding a couple of flavors and aroma might enhance the experience. Just as I'm cleaning myself up.
When you say you add all these flavors, is it toxic, chemical, anything?
No, it's not. It's all plant-based ingredients and essential oils. We use essential oils, and then we also have the unscented version with no essential oils, nothing fragrance for people, because, you know, some people they don't like fragrance.
Why wouldn't someone just do this with their water? I mean, if they have the funds, seems to me like a really smart thing to do for yourself, for your kids, for your husband who's beating his meat in the shower.
Yeah, I mean, it just really upgrades your life. Like when I don't know if you've ever had a shower and smelt that kind of like metal, like in some places there's like a lot of heavy metals in water somewhere. Yeah. And so it takes that all away. It's
or like chlorine and metal smell. It's the worst. And you really notice it after you've showered with Vitaclean because it smells so nice and fresh and clean. And when you go back to a non-Vitaclean shower, you're just like, whoa, you really notice a lot. You're like, my skin's really tight. You get like flaky skin. And we almost never not shower. We travel with our shower head. We actually changed our shower head in the hotel. I always have a handheld in my bag.
Wait, so you actually brought it to the hotel and put it on the hotel? It's that easy to switch.
So
here comes another thing. I'm going to be lugging around the airport.
Here's the thing. When I knew you guys were coming on, I switched my guest bed shower because I was like, I'm going to try just the guest bed first, guest room shower. If I like it, I'll do my own. And I really, really liked it. And I did not do it myself. I'm going to full transparency. I had my assistant do it. So I guess my question is it something literally that I could do? I'm not good at stuff like that. Is it literally just screwing it off and on?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it's very easy. People actually always feel intimidated about that. And I think that when they get the shower head and they change themselves, it took me no more than 2 minutes.
Have you guys actually seen psoriasis and eczema clear up as well as just rashes?
Yeah, definitely.
Personally for us, for me it did.
But a lot, like in all our reviews, like if you read our reviews, it's like, you know, people have seen it go away for not only them, but also their kids. And it's like the one thing they're like, oh, we tried everything. And, you know, this was the only thing that worked. So, because it could be like, it's not necessarily even the hard water that flares that up. Like it could be chlorine. Like some people have a really big sensitivity to chlorine. So, yeah, you can go online and read all our reviews, and it's caused like drastic effects for people. And that's really why we started this brand, because we saw such a big relief. Like we weren't really like, oh, let's start our own company. Like it was a very natural progression of a problem that we found. And then we were like, holy crap, like this is totally changing our skin and hair routine. And we're like, we have to share this with the world, because we were the people out there spending a large amount of our salary on, you know, beauty products and things to like, I would coat my hair in like purple shampoo, and I would always be in the salon like being like, make it more, you know, tone it more. It's like I hated the brassiness. And you know, it's a funny story, like even one time, like the hair salon like had overtoned my hair to such a point that I was like, oh god, I've got to reverse it. So I went to like the equivalent of CVS in the UK, and I put like the toner on my hair, and it was like this kind of warm tone, but it caused me to have like purple stripes, orange stripes. So I was just like, this is crazy. Like I have like a bit of an obsessive personality. So I was like, I really, really just want it to be right. And I mean, my hair, like I haven't had it colored now in 8 weeks, but you know, I still don't feel like it gets to that brassy point that it would have even after a week, like after my color, when, you know, and it really extends your salon visits.
Especially if you want to color your hair.
I'm switching every single shower in my shower, just so you know. And I'm like, I need you to get something. Now we need to make one for the sink. I need one for the bathtub. When you guys decide to launch a brand, you guys had no experience, you said before, and you decide to go on like this entrepreneurial journey. What does that really look like in the nitty gritty? Like, take me back to when you guys decided to launch this. What did you guys do? A business plan? Did you pitch an investor? Because there's a lot of people listening that have an idea. This is a solution to a problem, and they want to know how to pitch their solution. How did this evolve?
It was interesting. I think we both had a lot of fire in our bellies to do stuff, so we really figured out a lot of stuff on the spot. And when we first created the brand, we both really wanted to be a beauty product. There was no shower head on the market that was marketed as a beauty product. So I remember we were starting out, and you know, we hired a PR firm. So we were in a lot of publications like Harper's Bazaar, Cosmopolitan, and Vogue in the UK, which really helped position us as the leaders in a filtered shower head space, which was a category we were creating. And that was a hard part, because you'd go to the department stores, which was a path we, try to do in the UK. And we were like, we want to be in your beauty section. And they said, but you're a shower head. You have to go in the home section. I said, no, but we're a beauty tool. So we pushed a lot for that. And I think it was just really sticking to what you believe is the right path for the company, and being able to be flexible when other moments come.
I think as well, like finding, you know, manufacturing was really hard for us. So we searched like all over Europe, we searched all over America, and then, you know, also tried out multiple different countries in Asia. And it took us a long time to really find someone, but you know, it wasn't like a huge investment, but it just took a lot of time. And then I think as well, you know, we used a lot of platforms like Upwork and like Freelancer and all these things that were available to us, because we didn't have like a huge budget. And
were you guys both working in other careers?
Yeah,
when
we
were doing
both
this?
work. So I had a tech consultancy, and Christina was working at a content company, and I used to work with the content company a lot. So we did a lot of projects together, and we had a really good workflow. So that was like one thing that, you know, really inspired us, because we already knew that we could work really well together. And I think that that's also really tricky. Like some people sometimes ask me, they're like, oh, you have a great co-founder. Like, how do I get a co-founder? Mm-hmm. And you're like, well, you know, it's not like, oh, I have a friend, let's start a business. Like you have to make sure, I think, that you balance each other out, and like your strengths and their weaknesses, like, you know, kind of level out. So that's I think step one. Like if you want a co-founder, you know, definitely figure out, like, you spend a bit of time like working on some projects, and like figure out, like, you know, if you can get wins together. And yeah, I think it's you don't need like $1 million to start a company. I mean, for us, you know, we were definitely on our back foot. Like, it's not as if we were like, I've dreamed all my life of starting a shower head company. Like, let's get into plumbing. You know,
yeah, I think like what I try to do here, I mean, I think people sometimes listen to the show and they see the entrepreneurs that come on, or the creators that come on, and they look at like where they are in their career, and it's overwhelming because they just feel like people had all these resources to begin with. And I even say, like, for this show, like Lauren and I started this out of our living room, and it's obviously evolved, but like it cost us next to nothing to start doing this. And similar to your point with you guys, and I think people don't realize, like, the one thing that maybe we have in common is that we all had kind of other things going on that were supporting our living standards while we were starting these things. And so like, I never suggest people to just like quit their day job and quit what they're doing and go all in without any money or resources. But like, you can start these kind of things on the side. And as they gain traction, obviously, you know, invest a little more time and invest a little more money and invest a little more resources. But people just get so overwhelmed because they think like, they look at you guys like, oh, like easy for them. They had funding, they had money, they had all these resources. But to your point, you didn't.
I mean, it's a lot of hard work, and I was still modeling. I was working for a content company. Like, we were doing a lot of stuff for a while. It wasn't just, hey, we're going to do this for 6 months and then quit our jobs and we're going to be super rich. You know, it takes a lot. And
how many years were you guys working on it while you had the other stuff going on?
probably 2. It wasn't until 2019 that we were like, okay, like, I think we gotta go.
Everyone's
do
stuck
this.
in their house with crappy water.
Yeah.
You're like, this is a problem. So did you guys go out and decide to raise money? Did someone approach you? How did that work when you wanted to bring on investors?
So we got our first round of like family and friends funding in 2019. It was like a really small amount.
How'd you pitch your friends and family?
Well, they actually came to us.
They came to you.
Yeah, and they
That's
were
the
like,
best.
yeah, and they were like, this sounds so cool. Like, can I invest? And you know, they didn't want to give us a great deal. So it took a few months. I think we when we went, we were like, yeah, let's make the deal. Then Christina and I went over. We were like, we just made a really shit deal. That's like,
and that happens, and
yeah,
you know that happens. But sometimes you just have to push forward. And to be honest, it was
Your
hard.
own family and friends give you a shit deal?
Well, you know, it wasn't a shit deal, but it wasn't great. You know, but
It was hard. What?
Yeah,
it was hard to raise money. It was hard for us.
It's really hard.
Yeah.
Especially being, you know, I was women as well. It's like, you know, I think it's only 1% of women actually get funding, and it's getting a lot better. Like, there are a lot of really amazing like women focused funds, and but yeah, raising for us has always been like a tough one. You know,
Let me guess. You guys walk in with your idea, and you know it should be in the beauty section, which it should be. I totally get that. And you guys are beautiful, and you automatically get underestimated.
Yep.
yeah,
It's
definitely.
tale as old as time.
Especially in the UK, like, and most of the investment went into fintech there. So for us to come in with this beauty product, a shower head, 2 people who didn't go to an Ivy League school, you know, didn't start 4 businesses before, it was really difficult. I mean, people looked at me and you're like, oh, you're a model. Like, what do you know? And it was really hard because you got that more than you can imagine.
We had a lot of investors like hit on us, and it was almost like, hey,
They
like,
tried to Harry Weinstein. Harry
Harry
Ball.
aggressively.
Damn Harry
But it was
Weinstein.
very like, you know,
Yeah, I'm really sick of my investors. They always hit on me too. It's
Yeah.
it's
I think that's a great thing about being a guy. Like, you're like, hey, I have an idea. Like, do you like it? Do you not? And someone's like, definitely
Yeah,
not.
it's
Or,
logical.
yes. Yeah.
No, but I mean, listen, I empathize. It is. I can imagine it's much harder in many cases for women to raise capital. I've been in a lot of those rooms. I've seen Layurn go into a lot of those rooms. But like raising capital in general is just, it's challenging. And I think it's like, I personally, Layurn always says, oh, you love this part. I fucking hate the process. I hate going to people and asking them for money and trying to pitch and sell my. No, because like it is so counter to like how I typically operate, which is like my thing is like you create the thing and then have people kind of come to you, right? Like I hate the idea of me having to go and like put myself in the situation where you have to like essentially beg for, not beg, but you know what I mean? Like you go to these things, it's just like it's miserable. Anybody that thinks it's
you
easy.
have to go in with they're lucky to have me. I'm going to use the way I look as an advantage. And if they don't do the deal, how much advice can I get out of this person?
Mm-hmm.
The other problem is if you're not a great networker, because like I'm not like a smooth networking guy, and I don't know if Layurn is either. Like that whole kind of community in that world is all about knowing people and networking and getting the next interest. It's just like
schmoozy.
I hate it. Yeah.
So when you guys go to pitch a brand, if there's someone who's listening and they have an idea, what are some things that have worked?
To pitch the brand have worked. I think just focusing on the numbers is always good. Even if you don't have crazy amount of traction, you can still prove that there's a logical business model in time. For us, it was great because we have our refill component. So, you know, to have the amazing experience, you have to change your filters.
Repeat customers.
Yeah,
definitely. Because then you spend a lot of your like media money on acquiring a customer, and then you can just kind of put them in your email flows to come back if you have a good product. But
it's essentially a consumable.
Yeah. And I think as well, one thing that we didn't do, and I would definitely advise people to do, is really like consolidate your brand. So I know like you guys obviously have a really, really strong brand. We just went through an amazing rebrand, so everything's Vitaclean, Vitagreen. But you know, we didn't start like that. We really tried to do everything ourselves. Like, and we did it on like 99 designs. And
When you say consolidate your brand, like give me an example of what you mean.
so, you know, just really figure out like, you know, what it is you're like trying to do. You know, figure out like what you want it to like look like, and you know, have that in line, because otherwise you'll end up kind of repackaging, like not really being happy.
What's an example of something that's like maybe out of line or didn't work from a branding perspective?
For us,
Yeah.
with branding, I mean, I think, you know, at first we started using plastic, and you know, that's something that, you know, we really don't want to do, but it was just an easy option at the time.
And we use plastic because retailers are saying, oh, people won't know
Wanna
what's
see
in the
the
box, so
product.
you have
Yeah.
to use that. And what's the best way to use that to show the product is to use plastic.
Really? Retailers were pushing plastic.
Retail I mean, this was years ago, but it's, you know, the windows.
Yeah,
so you
to
can
just see the
a
product.
So
Okay.
you could see the shower head and.
And ours, like, we don't want people to touch it, especially it's chrome and you get a lot of fingerprint. And so we had to cover it, whatever the packaging was, it had to be covered, but you had to see through it.
What are some other things that you guys have struggled with besides packaging and investing? What are some other things that you can pinpoint? Like, how is it working together? I know, at least for us, there are definitely challenges.
amazing, right,
It's
Lauren?
not smooth sailing all the time.
No.
Is it smooth sailing all the time with you guys? Like, what's the vibe on that?
No, it's definitely not smooth sailing.
It's a lot of pressure, and we learned to get better over the years, and just giving someone space when they need it. That's definitely really important, and being aware of that. So being present and having that awareness and just understanding the other person and really understanding who works how. That's also important, because now people work differently. You know, it's like not everyone's going to do it your way, and you can't get angry. You have to let go. You have to build a team. You have to grow. You have to trust.
I think that team is like something that, you know, I really want to focus on, because it's so important to have people around you that you can trust and rely on, and that makes everything a lot smoother. And even if that's, you know, advisors, like people who've, you know, done it before, and you can be like, hey, I'm struggling with this particular problem, like what should I do? And then, you know, they'll give you like all different kinds of ideas. We have a really like amazing team at Vitaclean, and it's just so cool, because, you know, we didn't always have that. Like a lot of it was kind of hiring people and hoping that it would work out in the beginning. And because, as we said, we didn't have entrepreneurial experience, so someone was like, hey, we're really good at this, and then, you know, as we got to know how to do things better, it's like they weren't very good at it. And, you know, I think that was probably one of the biggest challenges that we figured out. I mean, one of the things that I think is great, like I'm a big Upwork fan, and I think just, you know, focus on reviews on Upwork is actually...
What is Upwork? You keep saying that. What is that?
So Upwork is like, it's like a freelancer platform where you can, you know, you can be like graphic designer.
You would like
or,
Upwork, Lauren?
Yeah, it's like, it's just if you need like some odd little job done that, you know, you don't want to hire like a whole new person, it's really easy to just get it done like in a few days. And, you know, our whole team obviously isn't Upwork, but it's helped a lot, and it's definitely made things a lot more efficient for us.
That's a great tip. Upwork. I need to look into that. Maybe I can have the Upwork come and fix our doorbell that I fucked up yesterday.
Well, you know, I think like the reason I like you guys talking about some of the early stuff and some of the tactics you're using is because I've been on this big kick to make sure that people, like sometimes people will look at a bigger company or a bigger entity and they get overwhelmed because like, wow, look how big that thing is and how far it's gone. And I try to remind people that like there's so many resources that exist now. It's like the easiest time it's ever been to get started. Like you're not reliant, to your point, on all these retailers anymore. You could literally just build a brand tomorrow online with your own platform. It's not as easy as I'm making it sound. But I just don't think people realize how many cost-effective solutions there are out there. They just think like, oh, I got to go raise money and have this co-founder and have all these resources. It's just not true.
Yeah, I think you just have to remember it takes time.
Yeah, I think that really people have to be massively patient when it comes to building a brand. It requires so much patience, and you really have to be able to see the short term and the long term at the same time. I would be crazy not to ask both of you your beauty tips. You both have beautiful hair and beautiful skin. So Micheal, go rigor mortis for a second because I have a couple questions. And obviously one of your tips is Vitaclean for hair and skin. But what are some other things that you both do? Maybe let's start with morning routine favorites.
So as I said, like, you know, we're big on vitamin C. So one of the things that I use is like the Ole Henriksen double cream vitamin C moisturizer. And then also Medicate, which is like, it's an amazing Swiss cosmetics company. It's kind of like Barbara Sturm kind of vibes. They have an amazing lab in Switzerland, and they have a super potent vitamin C serum that, you know, you can mix with your moisturizer, or you can mix with any kind of, you know, other cream. Another thing is like Charlotte Tilbury makeup. I love her like setting spray, and you might love this being in Austin as well, because it's almost like my mum when I was a kid used to always spray my face with that Evian mist, you know, like
I love that.
So this is like that, but it actually just like sets your makeup, and also it's almost just gives your makeup like a refresh, or just like your skin in general. I'm a big fan of that.
Yeah, I think for me, it's both internal and external. So make sure to drink a lot of water, exercise, big part of my routine. I wake up, I walk my dog. So just getting out there, getting air, getting hydrated. But in terms of skincare, I'm very minimal when it comes to my skincare. I don't like to use too many things. And right now in my life, I don't have to, because my water's so clean from my shower. I don't have to use a lot, but I don't wash my face in tap water. That's one thing don't do.
So let me get this straight. So when you're washing your face, you're not using the sink. You use your shower, which I like too. I also like to brush my teeth in the shower too.
Yeah, but now you're getting all the chemicals in your mouth.
Well, right. Not anymore. I'm not.
Anymore.
I now have a Vitaclean. So
That's true. That's true.
yeah. So you are doing that in the shower. So we need a sink filter too, right?
Stay tuned, Lauren. Stay tuned.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, because one thing that my facialist told me that I think is really life-changing is not to wash my face with hot water. She always says like go cold, because you're going to get the broken capillaries.
The fuck?
You're for sure washing in hot water, huh?
Well, it's
No,
not
I wash
really-
in the shower.
Yeah, it's not really good to wash your face that much, because like your natural oils like just dry out so
Agreed.
quickly. So I actually wash my face only in the shower, and I try different things every 6 months. I like to change up my skincare routine, because I think my
What
skin
are
gets...
some of your favorite products? You have to get brands.
So right now, I really like this Goop jelly exfoliator, which is really good by Goop, and that one's really good. I also use a lot of Clear Stem. You guys know Katie and Danielle. I never had acne, and I'm so thankful for that, but I love their products because I know that you're getting like really clean stuff, and it's good for anti-aging. I also really like Naturally Serious. It's this brand. It's really good. I met the founder at a conference, and she randomly just handed me a goodie bag, and the products were amazing. They have these exfoliator pads that I use. So what I would do in the morning is I actually take a cotton pad and I put micellar water on it, and that's how I would freshen up my face. And then I'll use the exfoliating pads, always wearing SPF. I like the Super Goop skincare. It's really good. I like the Glow Getter. It's awesome because it gives you this natural glow. It's also SPF 40.
So I just discovered the best SPF. So I have like a little bit of hyperpigmentation on my head. That was something that really was flared up before I started using a Vitaclean. But just like I've tried a lot of laser and stuff, and there's this last bit that I just can't get rid of. But one thing that I have just discovered is like, I think you say Eucerin. That's the brand. It's like they actually do an SPF 100. So I've been using that lately, which I found has really like allowed my skin not to get darker. And they also have like a dual pigment serum that you put on top. You have to put like the SPF on without any skincare underneath, because otherwise it kind of creates a bit of a peeling effect. And then you put the dual pigment serum on top, and that's really kept it at bay. So that's for anyone suffering with hyperpigmentation or like melasma. I think it's melasma. Yeah.
What about niche wellness things? Are you guys into red light, cold plunging? Like, are there any things that you gravitate towards?
We bonded a lot on cryo, I have to say. Like, we absolutely love cryo. Christina loves the cold plunge. I don't know.
I always go to Remedy Place and just do a cold plunge.
People love that place. I've never been. It's in New York, right?
LA is the original one, and they open up one in in New York.
They have Vitaclean in there as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's cool.
Yeah,
That's super cool.
I know the founder. He's incredible.
So you go and you can cold plunge there, and then you can go and take your Vitaclean shower.
After you sauna.
Yeah.
Or you can just bring it in your bag and just install it yourself
Yes.
and then reinstall the shower. What else do you guys like to do besides cryo and cold plunge? Anything else that you do on a daily basis? Like any foods or supplements that you gravitate towards?
Definitely a lot of supplements. So I take like a really amazing probiotic, Vivio Mix. That's one that I found works best. And I also really like bulletproof charcoal as well. I feel like it just helps, especially if I like go to a restaurant or, you know, change my normal diet. Even if like you want to drink alcohol, I definitely feel that, and bulletproof is the best brand of charcoal that I've personally found. But I feel like it just helps your body deal with everything a little bit better.
People swear by charcoal when they drink.
Yeah, but it's also just like I don't eat at restaurants a lot, so if I do, it just upsets me a little bit. So really find it helps just taking like 2 charcoal and, you know, then probiotics.
What are you guys' wellness or like eating habits? Are you big on protein? Are you vegan, vegetarian?
We're definitely not vegan.
No, we eat everything.
Yeah.
Really clean eating. I grew up eating. My grandma had a garden, so
Oh.
like that's how I was like. This is how I grew up. So I always gravitate to whole foods, and I think it's just being intuitive, just the same as anything. Being intuitive about your skincare, being intuitive about eating, and just understanding your body. Everybody's different. So for me, clean eating. I don't really have a specific diet, but I eat breakfast, I eat lunch, dinner, all of it. And definitely a lot of water. And we love like green juice.
Yeah, we love green juice. I personally love beetroot juice, like beetroot with my green juice. And I love smoothies as well. Again, with the charcoal, love a charcoal smoothie. We used to have them all the time when we would work together, when we lived together. And then protein, and I like some starch. Like I love potatoes with my protein, but you know, don't have that every night. But you know, I'll still like eat pizza like, you know, once a week or once every second week, and definitely indulge in like some chocolate sometimes. Like I'm not, you know, I'm careful but not super careful. And I think it's just really what agrees with you. You know, it's sometimes like things work and sometimes things don't.
What is next for the brand? What can we expect? Can you tell us?
Well, we are very, very soon going to launch new colors for the shower heads.
Cute.
So stay tuned. And we're also launching a cosmetics line.
Under Vitaclean or separate?
Under Vitaclean, yeah. So I know you don't, you don't wash your hair very much, but we are
Like ever.
we are launching.
It's okay. We're going to change that.
We're launching a shampoo that works really, really well with hard water, and also helps a lot with brassiness without kind of causing the overtone of a purple shampoo. I can't give too many details, but it's such a great formula.
There's nothing like it on the market so far.
So we're really excited about that. And then also like a coconut body oil. So it really helps with things like itchy legs, like for shaving and stuff like that. And then, you know, it's a little bit after, but the sink filter as well that we briefly touched on, which it's been a tricky development for us, that for sure. But, you know, we've finally got there.
If anyone can do the sink, I feel like it's you guys, and then we need one for the bathtub for the kids.
Bathtub for the kids,
because they like to like put their mouth up to the thing, and like Zaza's like dipping her toothbrush in the fucking bathtub and like trying to brush her teeth with it, and I'm just like, you can't control everything.
No.
I have to just like let it go.
Yeah.
They're building up their immune system.
Oh, she's building up her immune system. Yeah. But I think if I had something that I knew that the water that was coming out was really like amazing for her skin, would be cool.
Yeah.
And also, like, just side note, you got to go into like the baby bath soap too. Cause I sometimes read the ingredients for this stuff and I'm like, are they crazy thinking that I'm going to put this on my newborn? It's like so wild, the ingredients that are in these baby products. You really have to be your own guru.
Like the products for babies. Yeah.
Yeah. My number one favorite, if anyone's listening, is K-Pore. It's like all natural. Michael's like trying to like Michael over here would try to slap like Jergens on the baby. I'm like,
Whatever
that's not gonna work. When I first met Michael, he was using Old Spice, like showering in the sewer. So now he has a shower head.
Just throw some dirt on it. It'll be fine.
Where can everyone find both of you to ask all the questions, and then where can they find the brand, and can we do a code and a giveaway?
Yes, I am Christina with a K, Velkova on Instagram. I would be more than happy to answer any questions. Also, we have Vitaclean_official. You can ask us there as well.
And I'm Sarah K. Douglas on and without a H, so just SARA.
So
On
can we
Instagram.
do a giveaway?
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
we'd love that.
You guys, how many can we give away?
Let's give away 10.
Oh my God, that's so generous.
Wow.
Okay.
Christ.
We're going to give away 10 Vitacleans. Does it come with the fragrances?
Everything.
Okay.
Comes
Yeah.
with a 3-month supply. So
With the wall mounts. We'll give away the wall mounts.
So all you have to do is follow.
Vitaclean_official.
Perfect. And then tell us your favorite takeaway from this episode, like your favorite tip about water. I know I learned so much about water, and immediately everything is getting changed in my entire house, not just the guest bedroom and
Can't
my
wait
room.
to see you just unscrewing all these shower heads and just getting up there.
No,
You'll
I'm
be so-
going to go on Upwork.
It's going to be so
bitch.
empowering to
I'm
watch
going to
you.
go on Upwork, and I'm going to find someone who can help me. It doesn't even sound like
It's
I
going to
need
be
help, though.
it's going to be so
I think
great
you'll
to
be-
just
I
see
think
you
you'll be
get all
fine.
this done.
No, I'm like really like not very good at stuff like that. Like,
can
Sarah
do it.
wasn't, and now she's a pro.
Yeah, Christina taught me everything.
I'm
Yeah,
very
about
handy.
should
how
I
to be
carry this in
handy.
my bag next week on vacation?
Yes, absolutely.
He thinks I overpack like out of
I don't think I know.
Yeah, so I'm working on it though. I'm refining it. Okay, so you can enter the giveaway. We're giving 10 away. And then what's the code if someone wants to shop Vitaclean shower heads?
So the website is vitaclean.co, and the code is skinny.
Love it. Thank you both for coming on.
Thank so much.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.
I love the green, and I wore green too. I feel so on
Yes.
brand. And I just think what you guys are doing is incredible. This is a big, big tip and a hack. So thank you.
Thanks so
Thank you,
much.
Lauren.
It's
Thank
been
you, Michael.
amazing.